What's up, y'all? It's target individual CJBK. And I just woke up from a lucid dream manipulation this evening, and it was probably one of the most it felt like one that should have been scary, but it wasn't really scary. It was just annoying, and it was very trying, but at the same time I'm very proud of myself that I still had control of my dream. So basically in this dream, um I was in my apartment, and then um I think I had maybe two or three friends of mine over, and we were basically just, I guess we were hanging out in my apartment or whatever. And then for whatever reason, I walked into my living room and I seen someone crawling into my window. Which is weird because my windows don't open all the way, but I seen like a person crawl into my window. And I'm just like, what? So I had like, in my dream, I had grabbed the person, and mysteriously enough, I had a knife in my hand. And I remember hitting the person in the face. I'm like, what are you doing in my apartment? What are you doing in my apartment? And the funny thing is, the person tried to act like they weren't necessarily doing, like, they felt like it felt like they were trying to play the innocent one, like they were supposed to be there, or they were just wandering and then they just happened to show up in my apartment. And then so I grabbed them, and I like um as I grabbed them, I still had the knife in my hand, but I didn't use it. And I grabbed them and I looked out the window. And as I looked out the window, I just seen this is going to sound even more weird. It was like people's heads were sticking out from their window, and they were looking up at me, looking at them, looking up at me. And they all just had their heads sticking out their window, and they were looking up at me as I'm looking down at them. And I looked up at all the other windows above my floor, and everyone's heads were sticking up, but they were all looking at me. And then I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So I'm just like, I grab the person, and then, you know, I take the person, and I go and I shove them out the apartment, and I'm like, don't come back here and get out of my apartment. Stay out. So then, so then my friends were like, Chris, what happened? I was like, did you see that guy? That guy came through my window, you know? So, I was just like, yo, this is one weird. And the funny thing is, in my dream, I felt like I knew it was a dream. Remember, this is lucid dreaming. So basically, if you know it's a dream, you can actually control your dream. You can control everything that happens within it. So as I start to, relax myself, um, I didn't put the knife down, but, I relaxed myself, and then all of a sudden, I go back into my bedroom, or I think I went into, I went into the bedroom where I was like, doing something. And then all of a sudden, I hear the sound of like something else coming from the living room. So then I go back into the living room, and here is this young well, it was two young dudes, like probably like teenagers, whatever. And I'm like, what are y'all doing in my apartment? And he's like, bro. He's like, he's like, bro. And I'm like, yo, get out of my apartment, bro. So they're still like coming through the window. So, whatchamacallit? So the funny thing is, as I'm escorting these two young dudes out of my apartment, and they just keep looking around in my apartment, and I'm like, first of all, what are y'all doing in here? And then if y'all trying to like steal stuff from my apartment, you could look around and see I don't have anything. I don't even buy a bunch of material things. I don't have nothing. I don't even make that much money. What are you doing in here? And then one of them says, look, bro, I didn't know. And I'm like, of course you didn't know. You're just following blindly into doing things that you shouldn't be doing. You know, and whatchamacallit, he's like, so one of them walk out the door, and then the other one, as he's about to walk out the door, he turns around and says, yo, I'm gonna get like 50 people and we're gonna shoot you. And I remember I remember it's like it was yesterday. um it was another dream I had at some point where someone said something about shooting me. What did I say? I can't remember exactly what I said, but in this dream, when he said, "I'm gonna get like 50 people and we're gonna shoot you," I just said to him, I said, I laughed, I laughed dead in his face, and I said, "I'm only one person," and then I just closed the door laughing. So that's when I kind of woke up. That's when I woke up, and I was just like, yo, the mentality of some people. And then it was just like, yo, I heard the transmissions, the synthetic telepathy transmissions, and the electronic handler. He's going, Chris, you could put the knife away. You could put the knife away now, Chris. And I'm thinking to myself, I remember when I woke up, my hand actually was in the position as if I was like holding a knife close to my chest, and like I don't physically have a knife, but my hand was in the position as if I was holding a knife close to my chest, you know. And people don't realize that when you are in a sleep state or when you are in a resting state, your brain waves are basic, or I think, how does it go? Your alpha brain waves are actually um a lot more active because you are in a resting state or you are at ease. So when you know about how, for one, I can send you this information if you like. Your cell phone, when it's actually whether it's activated on talk mode, or if it's just on standby waiting to receive signals, your cell phone, depending on its proximity to you, it can actually change your alpha brainwave activity, right? Then, among other things, there are frequencies that can be used to actually alter your brain activities as well, especially depending on the proximity of you and wherever the direction the frequencies are coming from. So, remember, I told you am going to try to give you as much of this information as I possibly can, because, these people out here are basically doing these EMF broadcasting things where they're basically trying to see if they can manipulate you, because you're not giving yourself over to their demands. They're gonna try to manipulate you and use your mind against you. Yeah. Um, I mean, I haven't mentioned this in any of my previous videos, but MK Ultra is still very much real. The psychotronic weapons that the Nazis, were basically trying to use from way back then, they're still very much real. They're all being used in a sense to you know, they're pretty much being used in a sense to basically have an effect on the mind, and then not just mind control, but also the ability to create thoughts in a person's mind that aren't necessarily theirs. And a lot of people still are sleep on this idea. But I kid you not, if it's coming from so many people and it's a consistency from so many people who are basically talking about, these symptoms or their experiences, and it's resonating with so many others around the world, then that's the case. You can't keep denying it for so long. So, but yeah, when I woke up from that dream, every night I listen to, I listen to the Bible, right? And it should have just kept playing through, but obviously, since this Bible app is running based off of it needs internet connection. So what'll happen is, as I'm asleep, these electronic handlers, they would turn off the Bible app, and then they would basically, I guess they would proceed with their manipulations. So when I woke up, first thing I did was I put on the Book of Revelations, because I was like, we must be getting closer. We must be getting closer. So I threw on the Book of Revelations, and I was like, all right, Then by the time I got to Revelation 9, I was just like, you know what, let me go ahead and record this, because if anything happens to me, I'm not going to leave it to be no mystery. I'm not going to leave it for people to just assume or think whatever they want. I'm putting the facts out there. I'm putting all the evidence out there. If I could share every single scientific study or bookmark or whatever I have on my Firefox, I would do just that. But I've done it so many times where I've created a long post with so many different studies and patents and everything, all on one post, that prove that this technology is, is, for one, it's actually real, and then two, it's actually still being practiced or tested. So yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to tell my story of that lucid dream, and I'm actually rather proud of myself that I did not engage in violence, even in that dream, because it's just a show of who I truly am, and by the grace of God, God already knows that I'm not a violent person, and I think anybody who actually knows me knows that I'm not a violent person. But when you have people who are trying to use technology, and I'm going to call it forbidden Luciferian technology, because God never intended for anyone to be able to manipulate or control someone's mind, but just like the Nazis, all these people that's using this technology to try to manipulate people's minds, hey, the book of Revelations, the book of Revelations. Look, and as I'm looking right up there, and it's funny how I stopped at Revelation 9. I didn't really think about it until I stopped just so I can do this recording. And I'm gonna just read I'm gonna just read this little bit here. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke, there's a glare, locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion, when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Got a lot of people out here doing some weird stuff, messing around with this technology that God forbidden us from using. But I don't know. But yeah, just wanted to tell that lucid dream, and just remember, y'all actually can control your lucid dreams. If you can acknowledge that it's an actual dream, then you can basically find a way to control it and wake yourself from it, because God will want you to remember that you actually have access to him at all times. All right? Y'all have a good night. Remember, take it one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Yeah, hear that? So let me tell you, right, as I'm doing this recording, there is something hovering. It looks like a helicopter outside. I know if I try to show the glare up there, you're not really going to see it because the blind is down, but there's something hovering outside. You can basically hear it. I don't know if it's a drone or whatever, but there's something outside my window. So there you go for that part. All right. Y'all be easy, y'all. Peace.